Good afternoon, YouTube. Today it is Saturday the 1st of July and this is not going to be about same day courier work per se. This is going to be a supplementary video because I feel I need to do one. So, first thing I want to say is on Friday after my last video I had a quick look at my channel and number 12 had joined us, and I didn't get a chance to thank number 12. Number 12 being a superstar, along with 8, 9, 10, 11. So thank you for joining my channel, subscribing, I really appreciate it. And I looked at my feed today and I had a few messages and I noticed that I had 32 subscribers today, which was quite a shock, I must say. I don't really know what to say apart from wow, thank you for subscribing. I can't work out if you've been viewing all the videos and then you've just chosen to subscribe, whether you haven't seen the videos and you've just been told to. And then I saw Dave at Anvil Logistics video today, and I wanted to mention a bit about him. So he very, very kindly mentioned at the end of his video what I do, and so I think, well, I'm certain that my subscribers have gone up as a direct result of his mention. So thank you, Dave, very much. I really appreciate your really kind words. Everything you said was spot on, except for one thing, and I do want to pick up on one thing because it means a lot to me. You said that my persona name was the Delivery Man. There is no "the" in my name; it's just Delivery Man. The idea that I would call myself the Delivery Man seems way too big-headed to be ridiculous. There are loads of people doing this job. Calling myself the Delivery Man would seem very egotistical. So, just Delivery Man's fine. Say it in your mind however you want to say it. I suppose I just say it as one word, Delivery Man. But if you really wanted to, you could say it's Delivery Man! Anyway, I'm not going to do that. Next, I'm going to use the rest of this video to introduce you to my journey on my weight. I did mention it a couple of videos ago as a question, and I've thought about it, and I am going to incorporate into these videos my weight loss journey. And today what I want to do is to give you a bit more context as to what I'm doing, because I said in a previous video I know what works for me. After many, I would say years, but it's been decades of trying to work out what works for me, I now know what I need to do to lose weight and to keep it off. So I'm going to go through those steps, explain to you as much as I can about those steps and what I've learned about myself. And I do that for two reasons, I think. One is to document it so that when I do forget all these things, I can look back at this video and remember myself what the steps are. But also I think it's probably going to be useful to some people just to see the way that I approach this. I think it'll be useful anyway. So my first step, whenever I've really successfully lost weight, is to get my mind right. So I have to be in a place where I've accepted that I don't want to be the way I am now. And that's very much a subconscious thing, I think. Something that I can't necessarily control. I have to be at peace with myself. I have to not have too many inner demons going on. and I just have to. I used the word control in my last video quite a lot. And I think that's a key. I want to be in control of my body and my mind, and at the moment I'm in that place. I feel I can control it by actively making the right decisions. So I get to this point. For a variety of ways, being content with my life, knowing how I look at the world, how I want the world to be for me, just knowing myself better, get me there. I understand that I eat primarily for two reasons. I eat the poor foods for two reasons. One, I eat poor foods as a comfort eating. So if I'm particularly down, I will tend to go to food, and then that's a vicious cycle, because then I get put on weight, I feel down, eat more food. That's where the psychology comes in. I have to break that psychological connection. And the second one, which has nothing to do with that really, it's something separate, is I eat food as a treat, as a reward. And even I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. It's not necessarily interesting, but it's something I remember. It was about a month ago doing this job, and I had a really good day at work. I really enjoy my job every day anyway. And in this particular day, I had a good day, and I had to fill up with diesel. And I'd worked quite hard, and I hadn't eaten enough. I was still quite hungry. It was probably about 10 o'clock at night. So I filled up my van with diesel, and then I saw the chocolate all arrayed in the garage. And I said to myself, you've done a good day, you've worked hard, you deserve a treat. So I picked up a bag of minstrels and a bag of chocolate raisins. And I put them together in my van in one bag, and I just put my hand in and started eating them as I was driving along. And that sensation, I mean, just even now, talking about it, my lips are, my mouth is producing saliva. There's a phrase for it. And what then happened was, I obviously ate all that chocolate in one go. I felt this rush of pleasure from doing it. And if that had been it, that had been fine. I could have accepted that. But what that then did was gave me the link between working hard and a treat. And for the next few weeks, at the end of the day, I had my brain was going, you deserve a treat, get some more chocolate. So I'm not someone who can just have a little bit and then stop. I have a little bit, and I have a little bit more, and I just cannot stop eating that sort of food. And I know that about myself now. And I know the trigger is rewarding myself for some sort of treat. And I remember that now, because it took me weeks to get over that, and I was really annoyed with myself because I let it get to me again, this eating what I'm calling bad foods. And I made myself remember that feeling of walking in the garage and feeling I wanted a treat, and then remembering the weeks after that of battling against that feeling and how hard it was. So I'm using that as a psychological impetus to help me do the right things. I say the right things, they're the right things for me. There's no absolute right or wrong here, it's just what's working for me. Right, so the first step is about the psychology, and I'm in a good place about that now. So that's that ticked off. Before I go on, I do want to share with you the foods that are my danger foods, and there won't be, you'll be able to guess them, I suppose, but they are quite specific for me and probably for a lot of people. So it's chocolate, it's crisps, cakes and biscuits. It's anything that's sweet. I also love chips, chips with anything. So on the savoury side, that's probably my danger thing. I always think chips is the answer to whatever I'm hungry. So my next step then is, after I've got the psychological step done, is I can then do something about it. And the first thing I do is make a decision, act a decision. When I go shopping, I do not buy any of that stuff. I just don't buy crisps, chocolate, cakes, etc. Because I know that if I buy even a little bit, it won't last very long. It won't last the day. And then when I've eaten that little bit, I want more and more and more. So the only solution for me that works is just not to have it within reach. So not to buy it in the first place. So that's my first active decision that I can do to help me. The next step is I need to get myself on the scales on a regular basis to start measuring. I will not take any weight loss seriously until I know what my starting point is and my progress. I've said previously I find comfort in numbers. For me to lose weight, I have to know how successful it's being by measuring it. And I know I've learned that for me, I measure my weight every day until it's no longer motivating. Now when I'm on the road, I can't measure my weight. So it's only if I get home at night will I do that the following morning. At the very least, I measure my weight every Sunday morning, first thing, before I've eaten anything. And my Sunday is my weigh-in day, and that's what I think of as being my official weigh day. So when I record my weight, it's a Sunday. Once I've done those 3 steps, the next bit of recording is just recording what I eat in a day. Not necessarily changing what I eat, just recording it. So I've got some idea, what time of the day am I hungry? What do I eat? How much of it do I eat? How quickly? So I'm just mindful about what I'm eating. I'm not changing anything at this point. I'm just spending a week or 2 just focusing on writing down or remembering what I eat. Now in practice what I do, I don't in practice write it down usually because it's just a bit of a faff. In practice what I do is I just count the days when I don't eat the things I don't want to eat, the sweet foods. So I can go out for a meal and have a pizza and chips, but I won't have pudding. And for me that's fine because I've stayed away from the sweetness that is my Achilles heel. And then I do that for a couple of weeks, and just to have control over what I'm eating. Not eating the really bad stuff, but eating pretty much whatever I want. And my 5th step is then to work out how many calories am I actually eating each day by recording quite accurately the number of calories I eat. So I do it on a spreadsheet. I just every time I put something in my mouth, I write it down on a spreadsheet, and I either guesstimate the calories or I work them out in accurately, either from the packaging or when I get home. I'll measure everything and work out what a meal would be. So my 5th sort of stage is beginning to write down and recording the calories that I'm doing on a daily basis. And so I now at this point I'm recording my weight regularly. I'm recording the calories that I'm taking in. I have a set of scales that has some function on it that gives me other data. And the other data I'm particularly interested in is my fat percentage, my muscle percentage, and a figure that they have for visceral fat. There are other things that I record, but they're the ones that I kind of am using to measure my progress as well as my overall weight. And so I'm at that point now. I'm at the point now where I am recording what I eat and my physique figures. This is once a week I'm recording my physique figures. So at this point in the video I'm going to tell you what those figures are for now. It's like my starting position. And then I'm going to tell you what my aim is and why it's that aim. So let me go back to what my current weight is. So as of last Sunday, my weight is 17 stone and 1 pound. And it's sometimes helpful for me to know it because I work in pounds, what is that in pounds, and that's 239 pounds. I'm afraid I'm not into kilograms, and I've tried it, but I just can't do it. In terms of my physique figures, last Sunday my fat percentage was 32.8. My water percentage was 47.8. I'm not going to give that figure anymore in the future. It's not necessarily what I focus too much on, but just give it now for the sake of completeness. The visceral fat score, it says you're meant to be 12 or under. I'm 17. My muscle percentage was 10 stone, 12.8 pounds. Again, another figure I'm not going to do a lot of, it doesn't really change. My bone mass is 8 pounds. I have a physique rating of number 3, which is basically a high weight, high fat. My metabolic rate in terms of calories per day, so this is the amount of calories I need just to stay alive, is 2,180. And for the sake of a record, the scales say that I'm 50 years old in my metabolic age. Now they don't get any higher than 50, that's the maximum they will do. So although I'm older than that in actual life, that's still not very good. So those are the figures that I'll be measuring, and what I'm going to tell you each week is I'm going to tell you my muscle weight, my fat percentage, and my overall weight. And my target is, actually before I tell you my target, let me tell you the strategy. What I've learnt is there's no point rushing this. This is about having a change of lifestyle, change of habit, long-term change of habit and lifestyle. So me saying lose X amount by Christmas or by Easter or by 3 months, I've tried those things before and they do have some effect, but this time that's not what I'm doing. I'm going to I've got a target of £1 a week on average every week, which is perfectly feasible, actually really easy. It will be really easy. I've set it at £1 a week because I'm doing this publicly via this channel and I want to give myself every opportunity to be successful. But what I would really be doing or expecting to do is averaging £2 a week. I know that in about a month's time, 6 weeks' time, my weight loss will plateau. It will stop going down no matter what my behaviour is. I'm expecting that to happen, and in the past that's been really demoralising. Because I know it's going to happen, it's just the next stage in my journey. So by having £2 on average in the first few weeks, if I plateau for 3 or 4 weeks, then it's not going to matter. I'm going to my average is going to be £1 a week that I'm looking for. And if I do that every week for say a year, for sake of argument, that's £52, which is life-changing. So in a year, very easily, I could change my life. And from my previous experience, which I did more than that, it doesn't take a year to change your life, it takes a month or 2. Once you're in the habit, it's easier and easier and easier. It's getting started in the right way that I find hard. Alongside the reduction of £1 a week, I'm going to be monitoring my fat percentage because I want that to come down as well. Now, I want it to come down, I don't know by how much. I'm going to, for the sake of my spreadsheet, say 0.2% a week. I don't know if that's too much, or too little, or feasible or not. I don't at this point care. I'll find out when I do this. But to give you some context, my current fat, as I said, was 32.8%, and a year ago, at my lowest, I was 18.6% fat. So I need to take off about 16%. So it's a significant amount. So if it's 0.2, that's going to be 5 lots of 16 weeks. So in the region of, say, 70 or 80 weeks. So over a year to do that. A year and a half maybe. I think I'll do it in the year, but I don't mind if I don't. So let's go in the right direction. And, oh yeah, so I was going to say the reason why, a little bit every week, and as long as you do enough weeks, you get to where you want to be. It's as simple as that. Quick weight loss is, I found, never works for me. It just leads to more weight gain afterwards when it all goes to wrong. It's about me being really consistent and in control of my behaviours. And over time, I won't be impatient. Over time, that will see results. And I think what I'm probably realising now for the first time in relation to my weight, it's a word that I've been thinking about quite a lot about myself, and it's a word I've said a couple of times here. It's the word control. I think what I need to do with my psychology is feel that I'm in control of my diet and my exercise, feel that I'm in control of my body and its size, and that's what I'm lacking, and that's what I'm trying to do with this strategy. Okay, so the next step, my sort of step 6, is once I've established when I'm eating, what eating anything, how many calories I'm using, how many calories I'm taking in, that's when I then finesse my diet. So I will then start to gradually take away things that are high in calories. So, for example, I've said to you previously, I have porridge in the mornings with honey and a handful of fruit. At the moment, that won't change for a long time. But ultimately, what I'll probably do is just take out the honey. That's about 70 calories there that I'm not taking in. I might not need to do that because I might be able to make savings elsewhere. In my sandwiches, I currently put margarine on the bread. I didn't used to. When I was losing weight before, I managed to do it without that. So that's about 35 calories per sandwich, especially the bread. So I can take that out. I could put in 1 slice of ham, not 2 slices of ham. Put in thinner cheese, less cheese in my sandwiches. So there are lots of ways in which I can just very gradually fine-tune what I put in my mouth. Oh, the thing I didn't mention about food, what I do at the stage 2, not only do I not buy the stuff from the shop, I, at that point, don't go to takeaways either. So I don't go to McDonald's or get any sort of pizzas or KFCs. That is part of the not buying the food in the first place that's bad for me. Drinks wise, I'm not a great alcoholic drinker. I like alcohol. I like quite a small range of drinks. I drink lager, usually as a shandy nowadays. I drink white wine, but often as a spritzer. I would tolerate some fruity cider, but other than that, I probably don't have much alcohol. I tend to like Diet Coke and Diet Lemonade, but when I'm in the van, I just drink water all day. So over time, I'll just drink less of the lager, less of the wine, less of the Coke, and more of the water. So I'll gradually just change my diet in all those ways. So I think that's basically it. The 6 or so steps that I do to control, again that word, control my diet. Running alongside all of that, sorry, let me just clarify. In my mind, all I'm doing with that is I'm controlling the number of calories I put into my mouth so that I have less calories than my body needs, and therefore the body has to use up calories that's stored as fat. And at the moment my fat is all around my midriff. I've got quite a big belly at the moment, and I think that's where I want it to go from. Right, running alongside the diet is the other side of the equation, and that's calories used. And that's about how physically active I am. And I think that's where this job really doesn't help people like us, because it's such a static job. sitting for hours at an end. So what I will be doing alongside is a bit of exercise. The thing is, I don't really like exercise. I find it boring. I find it hurts, it's painful. There will be a level of activity and a level of strenuousness, which is just the right amount that gives me a bit of a glow and doesn't get me too tired. But I haven't yet worked out quite what that is on a regular basis. So how I deal with that is the same principle: a little bit a little bit regularly, gradually building up. And my exercise of choice is press-ups. I don't need equipment, I can do it anywhere, do it in the back of a van, do it at home. And what I will do is I will try and find, at the moment, one time each day where I do some press-ups. And every day I will just add one number to the number I do. In the week I started to do this, and I started off doing 10 press-ups, and then yesterday I did 11. I missed out a couple of days, and today I just did sometimes do 12. And I know how it's going to go because I've done this before. I'll get up to about 20, then I have to pause, and once I get above 20, have a rest and start again. Maybe do it in 2 10s, maybe do it in a 15 and a 5, and add on 15 and a 6, 15 and a 7. But I need to find a way in which I can keep doing it. Now, when I did this the first time I did press-ups, I could do 2. Literally, I could just do 2, and I wasn't that impressed with the 2 I did. And by the end of sort of a year or so, maybe 6 months, 8 months maybe of doing it, I got up to I did in a day 300 in like batches of I think 30 at a time. 150. Sorry, I did 35 times. It wasn't 300. That sounded too many when I said it. 150. Now I couldn't do 150 now. There's no way. But I'll get back to that at some point. So that's my exercise. I've tried swimming. I love swimming, but I just can't fit it into my day. And I don't like running. I did it for a bit. I'm not really built for running, but I do think people who run are amazingly impressive. Whenever I see anybody running on the roads, no matter how fast they are, they always impress me. I always, in my head, think, good on you. I'm inspired by that. Not inspired enough to do any running, but inspired enough to appreciate what they're doing. And so my version of that is to try just do steps. Is to walk. And that's why I got myself, about 2 weeks ago, a Fitbit again. And my Fitbit records a number for the steps each day. And roughly, on a normal day, it'll end up at the end of the day saying 3,500 steps. So that's my baseline on my Fitbit. I have no idea if I've actually done that many steps or not. I don't really care. I just need to do more than that. And so the way that I'm going to record my fitness side is I want to average out over the course of a week what's my average daily number of steps according to my Fitbit, and what's my average and what's my number of press-ups. Not my average, what's my press-ups. So what have I got up to? And I'll share with you that number of press-ups and that average number of steps. And all I want to try and do is every week have that average be a bit higher than the week before. And it won't always be that case. And once I've got myself up to an average of 10,000 steps a day, which may or may not be possible, I'll just leave it at that and just try and maintain an average of 10,000 steps a day. then we'll see where it goes to. I've got no idea if I'm going to find the time to do that, but it's, you know, that's where my mind is at. Right, I'm going to give you now my averages for the week just gone. It's not a full week because I'm not done today and tomorrow, Sunday, but I'll just give you some idea where my baseline is for all those figures. So I'll give you my physique figures, I'll give you my weight figure. So in terms of my average calories used, this is according to my Fitbit, in the last 5 days, that's 4,125, 4,125. The average number of calories I've eaten each day over the last 5 days that I've recorded, and this will be to some extent a guess, but an educated guess, because I don't know the calories and everything I've eaten, but it's consistent. So for example, a pasta pot that I had, I haven't measured the calories in that, it was homemade, but I will do in the future. But I just put a guess of 500 calories. It seems about right. I did that the same for each time I had one. So my average calories taken in per day over last week is 2,354, which is about 200 over my basal metabolic rate, but well over 1,000 less than my Fitbit is saying I've used up. My steps for this week on average per day, according to the Fitbit, is 5,703. And if I look at those figures, the lowest figure was 4,338. So that's a good baseline to have. I'm happy to have that knowledge. Right, so that's pretty much the end of what I'm going to say. My weigh-in is tomorrow morning. To remind you, I was 17 stone 1 pound last Sunday. I would be expecting to lose a couple of pounds for tomorrow. I will let you know in my next video what that number is. Thank you for subscribing and watching. What have you learnt today?